Hi, babies. Now we're going to talk about Module 3. Okay. Learn Kind, the curriculum that we've been working on. And again, these are graded as, classwork, supportive assessments, and then the writing. Any writing that you do will be graded according to the writing standards. And we're looking for complete sentences, capitals, punctuation, periods and commas, and spelling, okay, as well as the the clarity of your ideas, right, that you're trying to express, and the depth of your ideas, right, because we're talking about some important issues. And again, we did these in class together, and we talked about all these things. So if you were there, and if you were a part of class, then you should be able to get to the deeper parts of what we're looking for here. And if you weren't a part of class, I'm really sorry that you missed it, and you need to start showing up regularly, please. Okay, I love you all. Alrighty. So this module is about self-awareness. Self-awareness is when I understand what's going on inside of me. Okay, self. So to effectively show kindness to others, right, we have to be able to show kindness to ourselves. That's a very basic idea, and it's something that's really important. And I think especially now, what we're going through in the country and the world with this pandemic and the isolation that we sometimes feel, right, we need to make sure that we take time to be kind to ourselves. So, a part of being able to do that is knowing who you are, understanding your thoughts and your emotions, right? And connecting those thoughts and emotions to the behaviors and actions that you take. That's called self-awareness, right? So, when you're sitting in class and I'm trying to teach something and I have something on the screen, on the board, I'm trying to share it. I'm trying to get some ideas from you. If you're sitting at your desk or in your chair at your table and you're fiddling with your book bag, right? Your backpack maybe, or you're playing with your hair, or you're looking down into your lap constantly while I'm trying to teach and while I'm trying to get your attention focused, right? That body language shows me something that you are not aware of. You're not aware that you're showing me either that you're bored, that you don't care, right? That you're not paying attention. All those actions that you do show me that you're not really with us and with me in class. So that's where self-awareness comes in. I want you guys to be aware when you're sitting anywhere, when you're in a class, especially because that's what this, the focus of my focus is for you. But anywhere in life, if your body language shows that you're not paying attention or you're not interested in somebody else, then that impacts and affects your relationships and your ability to learn, right? To get information from me or from your other teachers or from other people around you. So I want you guys to start to be aware of your self-awareness. Building your self-awareness gives you the space and understanding to be kind to yourself, and it also it helps with relationships with other people. But the main reason that I know you guys need help with this in particular is because of the behaviors that I see that I know you don't realize. You don't realize what you're exhibiting. Okay, so this is where we went on to talk about these, and your job is to match up the facial expression with the word, right? So these are little drag and drops. So you're just going to drag whichever one next to whatever facial expression you think it matches. Okay, and we talked about all these in class, so that we all kind of were on the same page with some of them. But I can't. Not going to do that now because then I would be telling you all the answers, right? I let all the kids kind of guess what they thought, but just go through it on your own. Again, this I'm not grading for accuracy, although if you clearly if you put something that says aggravated under this guy who's clearly got a smile on his face, I'm going to know you didn't take it seriously. So try your best, okay, to get these as close as you can. Some of them are kind of goofy, and I get that. Then the next page here, if you're confused about what those words mean, because I know those are all higher level vocabulary words, that here's the definitions to help you to know what they're looking for. Okay, what we're looking for with those words. So each word here is matched up with its definition on this page. So now in here, what I wanted you to do was choose 3 of the emotions from that list, right? So you can go from this list. 3 of these emotions, okay, that and that kind of stick out to you, that you can relate to, and describe a time when you felt this emotion or observed it in someone else. Okay, so I'm going to go back to this list, and I am going to say dejected, right? So I'm going to put dejected in here as my emotion, and the description of the time when I felt that was when I was trying to teach you guys and I realized that nobody was paying attention to me, and I felt dejected, right? Dejected, low in spirits. I felt unhappiness. I felt depressed. I felt sad because I was trying to teach and you guys weren't paying attention to me. Okay, so that's what's going to happen here. You're going to put 3 emotions and descriptions of times when you experienced those or if you saw them in someone else. So I am going to say ambivalence. Ambivalence. That's when you have a mixed feeling about someone or something, right? You're unable to choose between 2 opposing feelings, right? So I might put ambivalence as my second one. And in here, what I'm going to say is that I noticed that you guys were ambivalent to my lesson. You really didn't care. You didn't care about my lesson, and you were kind of deciding whether you wanted to listen to my lesson or you wanted to fiddle with your hair or you wanted to play with your phone in your lap. Oh, what? You put your phones in your lap sometimes and try and sneak that? Oh, my. Or if you would rather pretend you were looking for something in your book bag than actually follow along with the lesson, right? So I noticed that you guys were ambivalent. You hear a theme here in my emotions and what I'm experiencing? In my love for you? All right, so you're going to do 3 of those, and then you're going to reflect on, right? So you're going to think about, why do you think it's important to identify many different types of emotions? Okay? How is this aspect of self-awareness connected to kindness? Right? So think about, why is it important to identify many different types of emotions? Right? And think about this in yourself. Why is it important to know in yourself when you're bored or when you're so there's a thing where sometimes people do things because they're bored and not necessarily because they really want to do them. So there's times when people eat just because they're bored, right? Or opposed to when you're really hungry. Or sometimes people lash out at somebody they love because they're upset with themselves about something, because something happened in their life, but they're yelling at the person they love, right? So being able to identify those emotions in yourself and how they're related to your behaviors is very important. So that's the kind of thing I want you to think about. And then how is that related to kindness, right? So I think about myself. If I'm mad about something that happened at school, and then I come home and I yell at my husband, because he walked his footsteps made too much noise on the floor, right? Then I'm not really mad at him. I'm mad at something else, but I'm taking it out on him. So am I being kind to him? No, absolutely not, right? So that's where you kind of think about the relationship. And then here we talked about a mindfulness. We did a mindfulness activity. Okay, so there are different things that you can do to help mindfulness. Mindfulness is when you kind of take some time and you actually spend time practicing thinking about things other than what you notice all the time. Okay, so in mindfulness, it's important to think about what you're trying to do is notice those things that you usually don't notice. So the activity that we did was squeezing muscles. And we actually did this. We started with our toes. And if you close your eyes, okay, you can think about, you can kind of clear your head, clear your mind a little bit. But if you open your eyes while you're doing this, sometimes it helps you to focus on things that you didn't ordinarily notice. Okay, so if you start with your toes, you pick one muscle at a time. So you start with your toes, and you're just going to squeeze your toes. This is the way we did it. And we counted to 5. We counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Squeeze your toes as tight as you can and count to 5. And if while you're doing that, you kind of look around, what that helps you to do is maybe notice things you didn't notice before. And the idea is to try and notice things about people maybe that you didn't notice before, or about your surroundings that you didn't notice before. Okay? It's to help you become more aware of yourself and where you are. Then you release and you think about, feel how your body changes, right? And then just do your whole foot. Right, just move on to your whole foot. Clench it up as tight as you can and count to 5. And then release. And then we did our legs. We just did all of our legs together, just our whole leg. Just tighten them up as much as you can, the muscles in your leg. Tight, 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 count to 5 and release. Then we moved to our hands and we just did our hands, right? Our whole hands, just tight as you can. Just clench them as tight as you can. You can make a fist, right? As tight as you can, count to 5 and release it. And think about, feel how your body kind of releases some energy, or releases something, some tension maybe. And then your arms, do your whole arms, your hands included, and tighten it as tight as you can. And again, count slowly to 5, right? And breathe the whole time you're doing this. You inhale slowly, in and out, in and out. And you can look around while you're doing it, and maybe you might focus on something in your room or in your home or with your family that you didn't notice before. Okay, so that was basically what we did there. Then we answered these questions about the mindfulness, right? So we did the practice. This is the part about practicing, right, that we did. Okay, so we're focusing while we're doing that on thinking, observing, and feeling, right, in the present moment. You're trying to be in that moment, in that present moment. So as you did that, right, think about, what did you notice during your mindful moment? Think about what you heard, what you thought, what you felt in your body, and the emotions that you felt, right? You're typing your answer here. You're going to tell me, as you did that activity, what was going on? What were you thinking? What were you hearing? Okay? What might you have been seeing or feeling? All right, what emotions? Then think about how mindfulness is connected to self-awareness, right? Think about mindfulness. What did we say mindfulness was? Mindfulness is when you're actually taking some time to practice paying attention to your surroundings, paying attention to what your body's telling you, right? So mindfulness helps you. How is it connected? It helps you to become more self-aware. It helps you to become aware of some of the things that are going on in yourself. How does mindfulness connect to self-kindness? Okay, how does it connect to self-kindness? And again, self-kindness is when you give yourself permission to take a break from something that's stressful, or you do something that's going to make you feel more content or happier. Okay, so sometimes we get into the middle of a situation and we are so stressed, and especially again now with everything going on, we may feel stressed. We may feel really anxious or nervous about the future, right? So we need to take time to be kind to ourselves. So think about, how does mindfulness connect to self-kindness? How does your mindfulness, doing something like that activity, how does it help you to figure out how you can be kind to yourself, right? And then how can you use mindfulness in your everyday life? So just think about that, and you're going to type your answer in here. How can you use mindfulness in your everyday life? Like, what does that mean? Mindfulness, focusing on what you're thinking, observing, and feeling. Okay, how can you use that in your everyday life? And I think about everyday things just that I'm doing, like things I'm saying, right? If I'm mindful of what I'm saying, of the way that words are coming out of my mouth, then maybe I can step it back a little bit when I come home and I'm angry about something that happened at school, and I can be mindful of the fact that my husband had nothing to do with that, so then I won't necessarily take it out on him or yell at him about it. Okay? So when you're mindful, you actually think about what's my motive for this feeling that I have, this emotion, right? What's the motive for the way this emotion is coming out of me, and am I addressing it correctly, or do I need to step back and rethink and kind of regroup? All right, then for this one, it's a little drop and drag again. You take these little dots, these little circles, and you put them around an emotion that you are feeling. Okay? We are going to just decide which emotions out of these that we are feeling. Again, after the mindfulness. And all you need to do is one or two. So you have this whole next page is a page full of them too, with two more circles. You don't have to do four. You could do one on this page and one on this page, or you can do two on this page and none on this page, two, none, or you can do four if you want. Okay, just think about your emotions and read through these and see how you might feel, right? So I may feel, right now, I may feel puzzled because I'm confused as to why you guys aren't showing up for my class, right? It really does upset me when I log on and one or two of you are consistently not there. It really upsets me, right? So I'm puzzled as to why you guys won't be there, okay? Aren't showing up. And to go along with that, I probably feel hurt. I feel hurt that you're not showing up, especially when I hear that you went to other classes, but you're not showing up to mine, right? It's upsetting to me. So, so you're going to identify your emotions there. And then in here, you are going to ask, this is a reflection. So this is, again, a writing piece. And here it tells you capitals, spelling, punctuation, complete sentences. How is my primary emotion influencing my actions today? Consider the connection to body language, tone of voice, facial expression, attitude, verbal communication, and actions. And again, these all go along with what this is saying is, how is my emotion causing me to act a certain way? Right? So by being aware of how my emotion is causing me to act, then I can understand how other people would look at me and maybe, see something that isn't necessarily the right thing, or what I want them to see, or what they should be seeing. So I'm angry because something happened at school, right? So how my emotion is influencing my actions when I get home. Maybe I'm huffing and puffing around the house because I'm mad. My tone of voice is sharp, right? You guys have all heard me when I'm mad. I don't hide that. You know when I'm mad at you, and I get mad at you because I love you, but like my own child. But you can always hear in my tone of voice when I'm aggravated with you. Okay. My facial expression when you're in school and you know me, you can see on my face sometimes, right? My attitude might be a little bit snippy and not so nice. My verbal communication skills may be off because if I get angry and flustered and I say things, and I maybe saying things that I don't really mean, okay? And my actions, maybe I turn my back on you, okay? Not you, but let's go with my husband thing, right? So I have to, if I think about all these things, right, how my emotions influencing my body, my actions, okay? I can say, well, I did this and this and this and this and this because I was angry, okay? And then I have to think about, I'm going to take it one step further and think about what that meant to my poor husband, right? How he had to suffer because I was showing these emotions these actions because of this emotion, and none of it was really directed at him. So the same way for you guys in class, you may not realize that when you are acting a certain way in class, your teachers are getting an impression that you're not interested, or you're not willing to participate, right? Or that you're mad at them about something, but you might be mad about something else, right? So we just want to constantly be aware of how our actions are presenting to the world. All right, so go ahead and fill in your answers on that PowerPoint, please.